My name's Vicky, and this is just a little program of Pilates exercises I've put together for the New Zealand rowing crew. So first of all, focusing on good breathing. So remembering that the importance of good breathing is that it happens low and wide into the bottom of the rib cage, and also breathing into the back of the rib cage as well. So you want to breathe in and out. Being aware that the top of your chest stays quite still and all the air is going into the bottom and sides of your rib cage. So that's your starter. So once you've got your breathing well organised, then you can go on to doing some bridging. And it's quite good to use the ball between your knees to help you keep good knee alignment. So the important thing about bridging is to be able to elongate the muscles of the lower back that are going to be becoming a bit tight. So as you exhale, think of sweeping your tailbone underneath you. So you're lengthening up through the back of your legs as you come into your bridge. Only go as high as you can go, still keeping the connection between your rib cage and the front of your pelvis. And then when you exhale, make sure you roll down from your rib cage first, sweeping your tailbone underneath so you're lengthening out your lower back onto your butt. So you're breathing, you inhale, exhale, sweep your tailbone underneath you, lengthening out through your knees. That's your connection. Inhale and exhale, rolling down through your ribs, your waist, down into your tailbone. If you're feeling a little bit tight into the front of your hips, you can do that with your feet on the wall instead, and it just takes out the tension at the front of the hips. So same thing again, exhaling, I'm sweeping my tailbone underneath me and thinking of the knees lengthening over the top of the feet, and then exhaling to roll down, inhaling there, exhaling, sweeping your tailbone under, exhaling, rolling back down. So you're trying to lengthen your back muscles and just get some good alignment through your hips. Another good exercise as well, if you're feeling a little bit of pain into the sacroiliac joints, working on some good hip flexion. So you pull your knee in towards your chest as hard as you can, and then you push your knee away into your hands. So you're resisting as if you're trying to push your leg hard away. You hold that for a couple of seconds, and then you relax your muscles and you draw that leg right back in towards you again. Then you repeat that, pushing it away, bracing into my leg, and then let it relax and draw back in again. And what you're aiming to do is to open up into the back of the hip socket and just relieve pressure on your sacroiliac joint. So then we need to work into some extension of the thoracic spine, because remembering often when you're rowing you get into this nasty flexed position here and the neck comes forwards. So you've got the roller behind your upper back, just below your shoulder blades. Remembering the extension isn't going to come from your lower back, so you keep your tailbone swept under, hands behind your head, and you extend your upper back over the roller, remembering to keep this connection with your rib cage. If you didn't, and you popped your ribs up, you'd end up getting tight in your lower back, so the ribs stay connected, and you want to feel like your sternum is made of rubber, and it's stretching over the roller. Your exhale is to curl you forward again, and you'll feel that nice connection with the bottom of the ribs, and extending back over and forwards. So you can just move the roller up and down and get that to wherever you need to. So your goal for that exercise is to get extension of your upper spine. So still thinking about mobilising your upper back, you can also do arm openings. So there's lots of versions of this. Again, it's quite good to use the ball between your knees to help keep your knees aligned. So the first one we could try is the shoulder in the air. Remember to rotate your shoulder back so your shoulder blade is in the correct position. You don't want to be rolling around here. Then as you rotate open, think about activating the movement from your rib cage, not your arm, and you roll all the way over as far as you can go, trying to get some stretch through the front of your chest and rotation over through your rib cage. If you're feeling in your low back, it's quite possible that what you're doing is you're popping your ribs forwards. So if I arch my back this way, my lower back muscles would feel tight. So make sure you've connected your ribs in towards your spine and then start to do your rotation. You can also do it with both your hands behind your head, or you could do it with both your arms out straight. So your goal is to get opening through the front of the chest and mobility through your upper back and your rib cage. So then we also need to be stretching out the front of the hip. That's really important because you'll be sitting in the boat for hours on end and you'll be tight in your hip flexors and your quads. Best way to stretch open the front of your hip is to do these dynamic stretches. So you have one foot up against the wall. If you can manage that position, that's good. If not, you can do it with your toes against the wall. So the foot is against the wall, and then you start off with the other foot a little way forwards, and you can just lean down, get yourself positioned, and then I'm bracing my foot really hard into the wall, like I'm trying to push the wall away from me really hard. Once you've got that braced position, you can then bring your hands up onto the opposite knee and start to push yourself up. And you'll get the stretch because you'll be bracing away all the time with that leg. So that's the front of your thigh stretch. Then you come down out of it and you sink into the front of your hip and it'll feel more like a hip flexor stretch. Then you can come back up again and drop it down, and the whole time I'm pushing my back foot away into the wall. So you're working the muscle as you're trying to stretch it. So obviously you do that on both legs. So once we've done that, so that's the front of the thigh. The other exercise we need to do is this lovely big side stretch. So the first part of it is a stabilising exercise for your ribs and your pelvis. So you set it up with your knee directly under your hip. Your outside foot, you've got the weight on the outside border, so your foot is pointing straight forwards. Your abdominal muscles are connected, so you actually need to almost do a pelvic tilt underneath, holding that strong connection, holding it, coming over into your side. So this will start to strengthen up the muscles around your waist and the side of your body. You can challenge yourself once you're there by moving your top arm up and down. You can move both your arms up and down, and you're just working to hold that connection here. Things that could go wrong, you could stick your bottom out, and that would make your back muscles tight. So make sure you've got that connection through. This is the strengthening part of the exercise. Then your stretch, your hand is on the floor, the arm is reaching, and I'm feeling length from my little toe on that side, all the way through, up through the ribs, right up into the arm. You're really trying to open out the side of your body. Then you get an extra stretch when you pull your knee in towards the opposite knee, rolling down, slight tilt under with your pelvis, all the way down into side kneeling, and that will stretch out through your lats. So I'll just do one more of those. Foot out to the side, toes forwards, tucked under. The first bit is the strengthening part. This is locked on. I'm feeling long and tall, really holding it together with my middle. Once you're there, you can challenge that by moving your arm, moving both your arms, aiming to keep your trunk in control. Then your hand is down, arm is up and over, and really stretch, really feeling like your hand to your foot is as long as it can be. And then you finish it off, you tuck your knee in, curl under, rounding your spine right down into your little side position, and that's your stretch. So good luck in the world and keep doing your Pilates.